On today's Locked On NBA, win-win deal for Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors. Are the Sixers just a big health concern, big Ross and Rachel team, or is there something else going on with the Sixers? We'll talk about that and more. Locked On NBA Daily starts right now.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome. You're Locked On to NBA Daily. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of Locked On Mavericks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your shot clock Sherpa today, filling in for Wes Goldberg. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 if your bet wins. You get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thanks for being an everydayer. Making Locked On NBA your first listen. Today, I'm joined by Haize from Locked On Bulls. Haize, how many games will you just fall asleep during for the Bulls season this year?
Oh, none. I don't fall asleep during. Like, listen, this is not even. People act like the Bulls are probably going to win 40 games this year, but this isn't nearly the worst Bulls basketball. It's just not.
Matt Moore from Locked On Nuggets is also here. Matt Moore, how many horses does Nikola Jokic have now?
All of them. He actually owns every horse in the entire world. Actually, like I'm here in San Diego for Nuggets Media Day, or for Nuggets training camp rather, and like all of the visiting big media is like, we just want to talk to them about horses. And no, like that's worse. He doesn't want to talk about his personal life with you. Stop trying to have a relationship with Nikola Jokic. I beg you.
One of the funniest things of Media Day is how it's evolved, because as media, we get such like little access that gets like reduced each year. So you're trying to like create some kind of relationship. And so many people are asking the non-basketball questions that it's like encroaching into like way too much and like way too personal sometimes, especially like in a group setting. Yeah, we had one with the Mavs with Clay getting asked about Megan Thee Stallion, which is just like, I don't know if we need to ask about the personal like relationship, even though it is all out there. But Today's episode, we're going to get into we'll talk about the Warriors. We'll talk about the Ross and Rachel MVP candidate in Joel Embiid going on with the Sixers. We'll talk about that, what that means. We'll hear from our guys at Locked On Sixers. And then we'll talk about the Suns. Is Dillon Brooks going to be a bigger villain or a hero by the end of the year? We'll get into that. But let's start here. The Golden State Warriors finally relieved us of all of this and got the Jonathan Kuminga deal done. Let's hear from our guy, Chuck Walter and Kolsky over at Locked On Warriors, because they think this is kind of a win-win deal for both sides, gentlemen.
But at the same time, the Warriors, they stood pat that they weren't going to turn that team option into a player option, and they won that way.
I think this is both sides winning. I honestly, I think this is the Warriors have the tradable asset and the salary slot that they needed, and frankly, a player who, if he's on the team, is going to be kind of important, at least in the regular season.
At the very least, kind of. That's a fair word. At the very least, kind of.
Well, listen, we don't need to get into the Steve Kerr. We'll have plenty of time to discuss what Steve Kerr does with him as far as playing time goes when it comes to the important moments. But if we're talking about the regular season with 3 guys over 35 as your main pieces, there's going to be a lot of nights where those guys don't play, and you need someone who can step up and play big minutes and probably score for you if it's Jimmy or Steph that's missing. So
is this a win-win deal for both sides, Matt Moore?
I can tell you it was a loss for everyone else in the world that had to pay attention to this stupid thing over the last 4 months.
They make a joke later in the episode. They say the agent was the one that broke the news, and they're like, "Oh, did you know that? Like, do you think the agent was the source? Like, is that?"
Got the inside info there. Look, I just don't understand. We did this for 3 months in order for Kuminga to still give them the ability to rip up his long-term security. He didn't get $30 million, and the Warriors didn't save that much money on it because they're still paying him $24 million. Why did you quibble this long over this? It's really, I understand it's like, well, the Warriors wanted the team option. They wanted to be able to get out of the deal. If you want to get out of the deal, why are you trying to retain him? Like, why are you so dead set on keeping him as an asset if you want the ability to get rid of him in a year? Why? You don't want to play him. And if you're like, well, the organization wants to play him, but Steve Kerr doesn't. Okay, is Steve Kerr still going to be your coach? Well, yeah. Then he's not going to play. He didn't play in the regular season down the stretch. He didn't play in the playoffs. What are we doing? How does this help you win a championship with Steph right now? How does this help you win in 5 years? Because you may not wind up retaining him at all. What is the point of any of this, Haize?
I think the point is that they can trade him. I mean, I really think that that's the biggest point in the team that
they could have done it before. Just take Malik Monk in the first.
Yeah, but it's a sign and trade though, so it makes it a little bit more restrictive. So now you aren't held to the base year compensation rule, so you don't have to worry about just the half of his base year compensation. He doesn't have the no trade clause, so it opens up things. And while the Kings had a decent offer, me and you both agreed taking Malik Monk now would have made a lot of sense for them. Like, who's to say that they aren't going to play Jonathan Kuminga to start the year, feature him some? Like, he could be traded by mid-January, and then you get something back. So, like, I understand, and you're pressed to get what the best offers are, but if you wait, who knows? Those offers could expand some if you wait till the trade deadline. I think that's what the Warriors here are valuing more than anything else, is having full flexibility to have him on the trade market and not have so many restrictions as far as the types of teams that would be willing to sign and trade him, the base year compensation rule. So I think you're looking at it, they're looking at it as hey, we're going to have a full gamut of availability to trade him. And if it doesn't work, we can rip up the deal and he'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
This feels very like Miami Heat always trying to keep the powder dry to trade for the superstar. Like, this is like, oh, we got to make sure that we can trade him for Giannis. And like, I get it. Because if you can trade for Giannis, you want to be able to do that. But that's not going to make up the money. You're still going to have to trade more on top of it. What's the point? I just feel like we all wasted an incredible amount of time on this, especially the Warriors.
Wait. The team that had the two timelines approach that was light years ahead is trying to have their cake and eat it too. Wow, like who would have thought that would have who would have thought that would have come up at this point? They actually, in the episode, they bring up on Locked On Warriors, they bring up the two timelines thing again because they're like, it's back. We've got Pods, we've got Kuminga. Now we have our guys are even older, so like the timelines are just even farther down the road. The squad now has kind of been filled out with Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, the deals that we knew were going to go on for forever. Seth Curry was also reportedly signed. It sounds like that he may not be on the team to start the year, but could be like a month in or something like that. That's what they're talking about on Locked On Warriors. Haize, this squad now, though, it's kind of like now has players on the roster. How do they shake out in the West?
Ooh, that's a great question. Because I could see them being a tough team in the West. I don't think they're going to be even. Maybe they could try to be a 7 seed. Like, I think they're going to have to go in through the play unless there's some major injuries. We'll see what happens there, because I still got, of course, the Denver Nuggets ahead of them. Still have the Houston Rockets even without Van Vliet ahead of them. Definitely the OKC Thunder. Definitely the Minnesota Timberwolves. Possibly the Los Angeles Lakers, and maybe even your Dallas Mavericks. So I think it's going to be tough for them in the West, but they're going to be an interesting team to watch.
I've got them as a 6 right now, and that feels kind of right, where if certain teams overperform, they could slide into the play-in tournament. If one team has a year from hell, they could slide up and get like a 5 or a 4. I think it's going to depend a lot on like clutch games. For me, this kind of feels like the Warriors are a really good team. Can they win the title? No. I don't think they can win the title. I think they can make a Final Four. I think if things go exactly right, they can make a finals, but then they get killed. That, to me, even versus the East, like it would take the Detroit Pistons winning the Eastern Conference, which I think is possible, and the Warriors sneaking up and catching this. But I do not see. I always start with, can you be a top 3 seed? And I don't think this team can be it. Haize.
I think we missed it. They're definitely winning the play-in tournament. I mean, not the in-season tournament. They're definitely winning the in-season tournament this season.
Why?
I don't know, just because I feel like it would be fun for Jimmy Butler to get. That'll be the title that Jimmy Butler finally is able to achieve.
Man, Jimmy Butler like on a throne in Vegas afterwards with like a crown. That'd be amazing.
A throne. Oh man, I could see it. I think it all comes down to Jimmy Butler. To me, it's like, what Jimmy Butler are we going to get? Because we kept waiting around for the playoff Jimmy to show up for them, and then Steph went down in that playoff series, and we didn't really get playoff Jimmy. And so, are we going to get regular season Jimmy, or are we going to get any? Like, is that Jimmy still in there in any way?
You have to believe that there's not going to be any significant drop off from them from an age standpoint. That if it's a drop off, it's like very slight, and then is compensated by the young guys, which I don't know why you do that, because again, one of their key young guys is Kuminga, who Steve Kerr doesn't want to play. Like that, if you look at the advanced metrics, I think are really good at this about tracking. Hey, is he still the player that he was? And with Steph, it's like, is Steph still good? Oh yeah, Steph is still great.
Top 5 in the Locked On Top 100.
Is Steph what he was in 2022? Well, no, like he's a little worse. And that's the thing, is like there won't probably be a massive drop off, but even if there's just like a slight decline, you run into this problem. You got to make sure there's no decline from Draymond. There's no decline from Jimmy, and actually a better season from Jimmy, and that Steph stays level. And to me, at this age, like I don't know that I can trust that.
37 years old for Steph Curry, 36 for Jimmy Butler, 35 for Draymond Green. That's a lot of miles on all those legs. We'll see what happens. Go listen to Locked On Warriors for more on that. Coming up, the Philadelphia 76ers. Is it just a health thing? Is there something more? Should they be taking more drastic measures? Matt Moore thinks they should. We'll talk about that and more. Locked On NBA Daily continues next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Daily is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odd things that you can use to get in on the action. Go check it out and see what they have there. The NBA odds are up. All kinds of preseason games. Sixers we're about to talk about against the New York Knicks. Knicks -5.5. Preseason, I just need to know who's playing at some point for those games. You can check out all kinds of different things too. And if you feel real confident about something, you can go put down $5 if you're a new customer. You get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app anywhere. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Whether it's NBA or NFL or college football or whatever else, WNBA finals happening soon here. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com, download the app today, and get started. Please gamble responsibly. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Daily. We've got a show that covers your favorite team, Locked On Warriors, Locked On Bulls, Locked On Nuggets, Locked On Mavs, all across the board. We've got all of them. Go check them all out. Gentlemen, we're previewing each team. We're going through 2 by 2 as we go through the beginning of the season into the preseason. Today, the 76ers are up. And the 76ers have some issues. One of their biggest ones is health. And we asked the Locked On 76ers guys what their biggest question is, and you'd just be shocked to hear what they say is their biggest concern for this season.
I'm Mark Farzetta, Locked On 76ers. What is the biggest concern facing the 10-9-8 76ers, Keith, going into the 2025-2026 season? I think the entire basketball world knows it's all revolving around health.
I would agree 100%, my man. Like when we look at it, like you talk about it, you got Joel Embiid coming off injury. Paul George has yet to be cleared due to an injury. Now you have Jared McCain just had surgery on his thumb. Oh, Trendon Watford, he's not practicing because he has a hamstring issue. That is the number one concern with the 76ers. You know, if they have to be healthy, the East is wide open. But believe me, when you have this many people hurt and this many people who can get injured, that has to be undoubtedly the biggest concern.
Of course it is. But Matt Moore, should they take even bigger drastic measures to this?
So I think there's an interesting question here. When I look at this roster, I'm actually like, man, I got some guys. Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain. McCain's going to be fine. Like, it's a thumb injury. He'll be back. It's fine. Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe could be awesome. Like, there's a lot of people that thought that he was like, he could have gone 2 in this draft. Andre Drummond, veteran center, Adem Bona's defensive metrics are through the roof if you dig into that level of analysis. Trendon Watford's got a hamstring issue, but it's just like it's a tweak. He'll be fine. He's in camp. This roster's pretty good. Like, this is a pretty good roster. You still got guys like Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon hanging around. This team, I think, can be pretty good, but they got to, like, what they can't do is have this one night Joel is in, and then he's off for 2 nights, and then he's in, and then he's off, and then he's out again, and then, it's going to be 5 days, and then, he's back, and he plays 4 games. You cannot do this back and forth. I honestly think, Haize, maybe the better way to do this, shelve Joel until January and just have him play the back half of the season. No back-to-backs, but just have him play the back half of the season. Just commit to he's only going to play half a year. We got 4 months to build an infrastructure of how we play. Then we'll tack on Joel as like an additional one. Because when you get into this, like every other night, you don't know what your rotations are. You don't know how to play together because you don't know how to, it's one thing. I know how to play with this guy, but I don't know how to play with him with Joel. And that continuity, you have to figure that stuff out. And when it's inconsistent, I think that hurts you more. So I honestly think that maybe like it's better either if Joel is out for the whole year or like he's only going to play half a season. The in and out thing, I think, is disruptive to building the best kind of team that you need, even to compete in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have your offensive line starting and stopping. I'm not your offensive line. Your starting line will starting and stopping. But I think
Bears win 1 game, and look at this man.
First of all, we've won 2 games in a row. First of all, so put some respect on our names. Thank you very much. we looked better than you guys last week, man. With that said, but I think the whole Joel Embiid thing and how it's working out, like I've been saying for a while, Matt, like they need to start planning life without Joel Embiid. Whether that means what Matt's saying is just until he's fully healthy, don't put him out there. Don't clear it is one thing, good, but until he's a full go, don't put him out there until you're confident he's at least going to be able to play 15 games in a row, something like that. Like they need to put something in place because I see where Matt's coming from. Like this is a team that could be something. I'm not saying they could be it necessarily in a year, but I don't know if you ever really know what some of these players can be and achieve if you're just keeping going in and out with Joel Embiid and building this thing around if Joel's there or not. You need to start moving forward. And I think the writing's on the wall there. Like you just have to start building a team that's good enough to compete in the East. And when Joel's there, he's there. That's the benefit of it. And I think they're starting to go in that direction as well. They're very deep on the wing and at the guard situation. I can't wait to see what that rotation looks like. They may be the new wing stop here in the NBA at some point. If all these guys end up hitting, it's a good problem to have, but they got to figure something out. And if Joel's not there, they have talent there. That's all I can say.
It's like the will they, won't they with Joel Embiid. It's like every day. I get what Matt's saying. It's just like just every day. The Mavs kind of had this with Porzingis, where it's just like, all right, if we're gonna have Porzingis, is it all season waiting on? All right, what does this team look like with Porzingis? How does it work? It's just draining on a franchise and as an organization and on the players too to just always be waiting on that guy. How do you tell Joel Embiid though if he thinks he's healthy, even though they say there's no timeline for him to start the season? How do you tell him that, all right, you're going to sit and we're just going to play you the back half of the season? You tell him to just leave? Like,
no, I think you tell him be around, be around the team, be working out, be in the best place possible, give the young guys help, be there as a voice. We value you so much. We want you to be present. We just want to make sure that when it gets to April, you can play. You have not been able to play in the playoffs healthy because and some of it's been random stuff, right? Bell's palsy,
that's so crazy. That's so, you 50.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But we want to put you in the best position to do that. And to do that, we're willing to pay you your full contract amount for you to play half the games because we want you to be in the best position. And we'd rather you play 40 great games or even with back-to-backs, 37, 36. We'd rather you play 36 great games and then be ready for the playoffs and let the rest of the guys figure out who they are so they can bank wins. We gotta be able to bank wins. We can't waste time trying to figure out who we are without you and then with you and then without you and then with you. We can't do that off and on. It's just too much. What winds up happening when you do these half measures is you do stupid, crazy things like hiring D'Angelo Russell to be your point guard because you think Kyrie Irving's coming back this year, which he's not.
D'Angelo Russell is going to plug in just fine.
Don't defend it, Nick. Don't even try it. Don't try it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, Nick.
Matt, you'll love this. At Media Day, so we had to sit down on Locked On Mavs with D'Angelo Russell, and he hit me with I got to do my own research on a question that I gave him.
Okay.
That's hilarious. But to get back on Matt's point, I think maybe Joel Embiid may appreciate that. Keep in mind, we're not too far removed from him doing the interview where he's basically crying out for help and saying that he needed help and people weren't listening. He felt like people weren't giving him the support that he needed with his injury and what he was dealing with. So if you present this to him hey, this is the best way that we could preserve you, that we can still try to have some success as a team, you never know. He may go for that. And Joel Embiid that commits to just not playing for 2/3 or a half of a season, maybe that gives him the recuperation he finally needs. And then maybe we start seeing a lot more healthy Joel Embiid more regularly. Unlikely, but maybe.
I want to hit the last video that we had them Locked On Sixers submit because it made me laugh a lot.
Hey, Mark Farzetta with you, Locked On 76ers. There's a pressing question going on right now in the Delaware Valley, Keith, and it has to do with Joel Embiid and how many games he's going to play in the upcoming Sixers season. The tongue-in-cheek part of it is whether or not he's going to play more games than Jalen Hurts. Ironically enough, both played in 19 games in total last year. For Jalen Hurts, it was 15 during the regular season, 4 in the postseason. And for Joel Embiid, it was just 19 in the regular season alone. So who plays in more games in their current and upcoming seasons? Joel Embiid in 2025-26 or Jalen Hurts?
Joel Embiid. I'm just going to
go with thank goodness.
I'm going to go with Joel. I mean, that's a crazy question, but you understand it because of, the games that Joel Embiid missed. But I think he's going to bounce back this year. I think he's going to play in more than 21 games this season.
Haize, you're
I'm being told, from our excellent staff department, I'm being told Joel Embiid and Jalen Hurts have completed the same amount of NFL passes in the second half since the second half.
Haize, you're an NFL guy. Who's going to play more games this season, Jalen Hurts or Joel Embiid?
Probably Joel Embiid because there's more runway there.
They played the same amount last year.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. That's wild. I'll still say Joel Embiid. I'll say Joel Embiid.
I'm gonna be completely pull back the curtain. Wes and I came up with all these questions, and I did not know that stat before he submitted his question. I just thought it was funny that it was between the two of them. That is absolutely wild. So go listen to Locked On Sixers. They'll have everything covered, and there's so many ins and outs of this team. Everybody just knows health, but there's so many things to know about this team. Keith and Mark know better than anybody else. Coming up, let's hear about the Suns. Will Dillon Brooks be a bigger villain or a hero to Suns fans by the end of the season? Ben Garcia says something I think we're all going to disagree with. Talk about that and more. Locked On NBA Daily continues next. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Peloton. It's shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. I don't know about you, but like I tried a cycling class one time. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it, but I can do all those other things. I love trying all those other things, and that is how Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus can help you. It's training reimagined, built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, reach peak performance. And when I started to read a bunch of the features on this, I got really intrigued because it actually tracks your reps, huge, suggests the right weights that you need to use, corrects your form, makes every rep safer and smarter. This is basically like a personal trainer in your house. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. It's the letter one, they're the word 1, 0, onepeloton.com. 0 is not a letter. Go check out onepeloton.com, see how you can get yours today. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Daily. We've got a show that covers your favorite team. Go listen to Locked On Sixers. We've got Locked On Suns we're going to talk about here because they got some questions. Team that we're not as interested in anymore. I think maybe the most interesting thing about the Suns right now is Devin Booker's man cave. Did you guys see this video of Devin Booker's man cave?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
He was showing Speed, like I saw Speed, the streamer, his man cave. And you just open it up, and it looks like a golden version of the Dark Knight layer, like from like the Batman layer from Dark Knight.
Yeah, he's got like the custom cars in there because he's a huge cars guy. He's got it's like a hanger Haize with wall to wall.
200-inch TV, not like LED put together, like 200-inch full TV.
I was moved. It started to be very deep inside me. It was awesome. It was. Did it
make you like want to go into finance and like make a ton of money? Like make you just like pivot your life?
Yeah, that's all it's holding me back here, Nick. Because I would rather do this show. I could go do that and have that man cave, but
it's the love of the game, Matt Moore. It's the
I have to give up taking crap from Haize every day, so I have to be in here.
We asked Locked On Suns, will Dillon Brooks be a bigger villain or a hero to Suns fans by the end of the season? I think we're all going to disagree with this one.
Benjamin Garcia, host of Locked On Phoenix Suns. Will Dillon Brooks be a hero or a villain to Suns fans by the end of the season? I mean, there's a pretty clear answer to this. It'd be pretty hard for Dillon Brooks to be a villain to Suns fans. He could potentially be a superhero to Suns fans by the end of the year. He's a breath of fresh air. This Suns team last year didn't have enough guys who just tried on a night in, night out basis. That's not going to be a problem with Dillon Brooks. He might drive you insane with insane shot attempts sometimes, but the biggest step for this Suns team is, can they be more physical? Can they, show up to games and you don't assume they're going to lose by 20 every night? When they play the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Denver Nuggets, can they give them a run for their money? And Dillon Brooks is going to be the spearhead for that. He's going to demand physical play, be a team that is a plus defensive team, and he's going to lead that charge. Yeah, he might drive you insane some nights, but he's going to be a superhero for Suns fans by the end of the
Are we in agreement with Ben Garcia here?
Go ahead, Matt.
I think the craziest thing that Ben said this week is he thinks the Suns can be a top 10 defense. I was listening to that, and I was like, whoa.
Top 10 in the NBA?
Look, yeah, I think he's actually kind of on something here. Look, Dillon was unfairly maligned and got out over his skis in Memphis, and that team scapegoated him. And he was really good in Houston, especially last year. He was really good. Now, the problem is just like Dillon always starts way too much. It's not that he can't start stuff he can't back up. It's that it's like he hits the amount he can back up and then goes way past that. Like he can back up a little bit. And I do think that they need to kind of actually have some guys that are just willing to shoot threes and play defense. And Dillon's willing to shoot threes and play defense. And he's annoying and he's obnoxious. And you need guys that get under the other team's skin as long as you don't go too far. But the problem is just like if he does have a season where the shot goes away, then it gets ugly. Then it's really frustrating because Dillon won't stop shooting. Like Dillon will not stop. Dillon's not going to pass up an opportunity if it's like it's not his night. He's going to keep shooting, and that fans hate that when you keep shooting when you're missing, and like that's the problem. But I do think he's evolved into a more reliable 3-point shooter. I do think he's a better defender than he gets credit for. And I do think that for a team that was so lifeless and so pathetic last year, that the fight that Dillon Brooks brings to the table is something I think fans will appreciate.
Yeah, I think Dillon Brooks, the fans of the teams that he owns typically love him because he does go to bat for his teammates. He defends his teammates. Is he going to do some things that may be a little bit irritating or cause you to get a tech? Yeah, but I think, his time in Houston, I think he fixed a lot of kind of the worst part of the Dillon Brooks experience that was in Memphis. Now, is he going to be able to keep it up? The difference is that they were winning there. Are you going to win at that level? In Phoenix, maybe not. Does that cause him to go back and to some of the things he did previously? Probably. But I mean, he's on the team with Grayson Allen. At some point, we just got to call them the Bash Brothers and just embrace the experience that's there.
Oh, it's gonna be technical. So I think it's interesting. Look, usually every media day, teams are talking about we're going to play fast, we're going to shoot more threes. We've heard that for years. Those are the two things that you hear. And the Celtics,
the Mavs did not say they were going to shoot more threes this year.
and the Celtics are talking about that, and I believe it because I think
I do believe that one.
But one thing that's being talked about a lot is the physicality. So the Sixers talked about playing. They were doing five on runs with no fouls. And then yesterday, on like the first play of scrimmage in the Nuggets, Julian Strawther like lost his fake tooth that had already been knocked out, running into Spencer Jones. And they're talking about how physical it is. I think the players are really anticipating this more physical style. Like they're really talking about
playoffs were.
And I am kind of wondering if they're all like, okay, we're all going to get ready for this hyper physical approach, and then we're going to get the opening night of the season, and the refs are going to be back to. No, you touched him. That's a foul. You can't touch him. There's no touching in basketball.
My thing with Dillon Brooks that you guys, I think I has missed is what Matt said. He's going to shoot no matter what, and he's going to shoot them out of games because there is no guardrails on this Phoenix Suns team. Where's the hierarchy? It's Devin Booker, and then it's him, right? Like who else is there? There's no Kevin Durant. There's nobody else. There's no even
Jalen Green is going to shoot too.
Is that going to make it better?
No, that's the thing.
Is that going to make this problem better?
You saying shoot them out of games. They're not going to be in games to shoot them out of. Shoot. You got Jalen. You got Dillon Brooks. You got Mark Williams there. He may not be in or out the game. You got Grayson Allen. Like, what are we talking about? Shoot them out of games? Out of games in the year of our Lord 2025?
This is like the Drake meme where it's like shooting your team out of games.
Out the
not
game?
Being in game to shoot them out of.
So maybe he never becomes a villain because he never gets the chance to become a villain. So maybe I'm with you guys. Maybe I'm coming around. And maybe there's a bigger villain on the team in Jalen Green if he ever does that.
So Ben actually talked about this, and I thought it was a really good point that he talked about earlier this week, where he said Jalen Green was talked a lot of media days. Like, I work so much on my mid-range game, and Suns fans are like, no. Like, no, you have to shoot threes. Like, we need 3-pointers, and you got to work on that. Please do not take less efficient shots that you're already not good at.
Yeah, but they're not going to be in games, so you might as well just try stuff. And you can't shoot them out of the games, right, Haize?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Listen, shout out to, you know what, two of the most delusional hosts that we have on the network, and I love both of them. I want to be clear here. Ben Garcia and Sean Woodley. They're both just delusional, like at all times. at all. Like I was on a Eastern Conference preview with Sean Woodley last year, and for the losers in the conference. He was like, everybody else should be here. I shouldn't. We all finished with better records than this team. It's just a bunch of delusion going on.
The Raptors did finish with 5 top locked on top 100 players though this year.
Ben, I will give credit to on this one, which is he's like, I'm not worried about wins and losses. The team's not worried about wins and losses. Like they're going to lose a lot. It's about can they win? Can they lose in better ways? Like can they actually? And that's actually true. Like can you show fight? Can you show progress? Like are you competing? Because that was the problem last year. Is like they were good enough to win. They just didn't compete. They just didn't. Which I think that's you'd rather take competing and losing than not competing and losing.
We talk about the Thunder and their rise. Like 3 years ago when they were losing a bunch of games, they were competitive in a lot of those games. And you kind of saw like what was bubbling up. Maybe not to this level, but you saw that there was at least competition there and they were competing and they were in a ton of games and they just couldn't close them out. And then eventually SGA rose to where he was and now they're closing them out and they have all the talent in the world.
Haize, if the Suns exceed expectation, let's say Jordan Knott's actually pretty good, right? And they actually look a little bit more competitive. What is the absolute top end ceiling you can see for this team?
Deepest sigh for Haize in a while.
36 wins.
I think a really good question is just like, can they win more games than the Kings? That's the target.
See, it's possible, right? But the thing is that you have DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They're regular season merchants. They're gonna. The only thing that could derail their regular season is if they sign Russell Westbrook. So as long as they don't do that, I think they're still gonna hover around 36, 37-ish wins. But I do think that's also the top end for the Suns as well.
That was such a multi-layered.
The shade is real today. It's
like
just
regular season merchants, as long as they don't sign Russell Westbrook.
It was a distant Westbrook too.
Like so many people, and even if like, despite those shots, it was still like, yeah, they'll still be better than the Suns. Like that was an amazing combo.
Haize walked into the China shop with like a sledgehammer and just smashed each.
It's like that scene from Roadhouse where like Jake Gyllenhaal just like starts slapping dudes. Oh, I'm slapped you. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Resume slapping people.
Go check out Locked On Suns for a measured, potentially delusional take on the Phoenix Suns. Check out Locked On Bulls, Locked On Nuggets, Locked On Mavs. Make your second listen today. Locked On NBA Game Night. We're talking about all. Wes, why does this have music on it?